Hello and welcome to this presentation designed to help you with your online Gifted and Talented Program Approval application. My name is Mary Catherine Stein and I'm the Program Coordinator for Gifted Education. The first step in completing your annual GT program application is to access the application online. Here are the steps involved in finding your district's online application form. First, go to the ADE Data Center at the address provided or access the ADE Data Center icon on the arkansahed.org website in the lower left corner. Find the icon for online forms and click on it. You will need to log in with your Triand account information on the screen. A list of forms will appear. Click on the Gifted and Talented Program application. The first screen you find is the authorization page. Please review any information that may have already populated the form and make changes as necessary. Emails about the status of the report are sent to the superintendent and the GT coordinator based on the emails entered, so be sure they are correct. If you have more than one high school and multiple AP coordinators, please list all their names and emails in the boxes provided. Be sure the superintendent is aware of the report and realizes that when it is submitted electronically, it is assumed the superintendent has approved the report. Below you will find a place to indicate the licensure of the GT coordinator. Most GT coordinators hold the 305-306 GT licensure, but the newest licensure code is 289. If you are teaching under an ALP, a copy of the ALP should be uploaded here. Be sure the document uploaded is actually an additional licensure plan. The next box on the application is very important. Any changes to any of the areas listed should be described in the box. For example, personnel changes, accepting pre-AP and AP teachers, or changes to program options should be recorded, or school board approved policy changes. Be sure listings for personnel are the names listed for teachers in the teacher licensure database. If there are no changes, just put no changes. Below the change box is an ADE comments box. This is the area where we make comments, ask questions, and indicate the need for revisions. Please do not try and answer questions in the ADE comments box. The program will allow you to type, but it will not save anything. Changes or explanations need to be made in the boxes above. The status box is also very important. It will change depending on where you are in the approval process. Expect to have to clarify or make revisions because the accuracy of the report is important. It is not a race to get finished, but a give and take until it is clear that GT standards are being met. When you have completed a screen, be sure to click the Save button or your work will not be saved. A closed tab will appear and then you will know your work has been saved. Then you can click Next and go to the next screen. If you want to see the next screen, you will need to put a place marker in the boxes before it will let you save and go to the next screen. Screen 2 is the report about student data, the program options for services being used, and the documentation of the services. The graph across the top of the screen will be filled in as you enter data. The ADE comments box for this page and the Save button is near the top, which can be confusing. Be sure to read the reminders about programs, student contact time, and the content codes under the title. As you enter data, the program builds a chart below. You will need an entry for each grade level indicating the number of identified students, except for the number of students served in K2 or 3. The program option primarily used at the grade level, the minutes per week, the content areas, and the teacher or teachers providing services. If more than one type of teacher is involved in providing services, explain how services are divided. For example, if the GT teacher meets once a month with secondary students, indicate that here. If students on a grade level are served in both pre-AP and AP classes, indicate that and be sure we can tell which courses are pre-AP and AP on a grade level. Then describe how services are documented. You don't have to list teacher or student schedules here. List the documents that are evidence of service, such as lesson plans or an AP course syllabus that has been approved through the AP course audit process for AP courses. Here's an example of the chart. The documentation listed in the chart should be available during on-site monitoring for all the grade levels and years since the last on-site monitoring. Here's an example of the resource room option with proper documentation that will be available during the next on-site monitoring. Here's an example of a grade level entry with multiple forms of service delivered by several teachers. Here's an example of a 12th grade program option. On the third screen, you begin entering data which serves as a review of standards, and each screen aligns with one of the standards, beginning with 4.0, Community Involvement. Notice that the prompt asks you to describe how information is distributed, the format, and who gets the information. The prompt does not ask what information is shared. One of the best ways to share information with many stakeholders is by posting information that links to the district website. 4.02 asks how information is shared when stakeholders can offer suggestions and ask questions. Having contact information on the district website is good, and presenting information at the district's annual report to the public meeting are good examples. If you present in a public meeting, be sure to retain a copy of the sign-in sheet for evidence during monitoring. 4.03 asks you to describe your gifted and talented advisory group and when they meet. Be sure parents are well represented. If you have many parents who want to be on the advisory committee, you may want to start an Agate affiliate group. Keep sign-in sheets with the roles of the attendees listed as evidence during monitoring. 5.01 is a yes/no question, and there are many of those in this application as reminders of what should be in place for the program. 5.02 asks about the opportunities each of the listed stakeholders, new and continuing, have to learn about gifted and talented education in the district. Again, having sign-in sheets for these opportunities will be needed as evidence during monitoring. The next screen, 6.0, allows you to build a table with the information about the teachers providing direct services to students. Please provide the information requested and be sure GT Coordinator K-12 is listed as a teaching assignment. 6.04 asks for a description of the process of selection for GT coordinators, administrators, and teachers. You may include the district hiring policy, but be sure the process indicates how jobs are advertised, how interviews are conducted, who makes the hiring decisions, and whether the process is non-discriminatory. Below the ADE comments box, answer the questions for 6.05 and 6.06. The job description and evidence of administrative time will be needed during monitoring. The next screen is for identification standards. 7.01 asks for a description of how referrals for services are sought from a wide variety of sources and how data on nominated students is collected. Notice the comments in the ADE comment box about placing a notice on the district website and the need to use whole group enrichment data. 7.02 asks how identification procedures are shared with the staff. Notice that both of these prompts ask for how something is done. 7.03 is a yes/no question about whether the standard for placement committees is followed. 7.04 asks about the variety of information and procedures used in making placement decisions. Notice the comment about reviewing the identification process to identify more low-income students. 7.05 is a yes/no question about making placement decisions based on multiple criteria and not using a single score or cutoff to include or exclude students. 7.06 through 7.11 are yes/no questions asking whether the standards of identification are being followed. The next screen addresses Curriculum 9.0. 9.01 asks what documentation is produced to ensure the curriculum extends or replaces the regular curriculum at all levels K through 12. 9.02 asks about the documentation produced to ensure the GT curriculum is differentiated in content, process, and/or product. 10.01 through 10.06 are yes/no questions asking whether the standards of evaluation are being followed. When you click and save the evaluation data screen, you will go to the application homepage screen. Notice that each part of the application has an individual status. There is also a submit button on this screen, and when you are ready, click it so your application is submitted to us. You and your superintendent will get electronic emails regarding the status of your application. Be sure to review the comments and make revisions as needed so your application can be approved. Each time you make revisions, please save each screen and hit the submit button on this screen again until the application is approved. Your application will be archived online for future access. Thank you for viewing, and thanks for all you do for gifted students. From the Office of Gifted and Talented and Advanced Placement, that's Mary Catherine and Crystal. Please call if you need additional assistance.